All right. Welcome back to Tales of the Black Tower, where we try to have fun playing solo D&D. Currently, we're with Shane, the human fighter. This is scene 4 in sort of the preempt, like the starting sessions of a campaign I want to start. My idea is that I want to sort of create the characters and have them go along by themselves for a little while before eventually meeting up and joining together towards some goal that we are going to figure out along the way. As you can probably see, I've made a couple changes. I dug some stuff out to be able to basically hang the camera up right above where I actually want it. Dug out a microphone and stuff, so hopefully that's a little better. I have all my tools. I've got the Shadow Dark rulebook over here, character sheets, dice, obviously, and my random event generators over here. So this is actually scene 4 because I have another character named Audentior, and I did a couple scenes with him after creating him, and then this is the second scene with Chain, where he just basically killed the captain of the pirate boat that he was a member of and gathered all his stuff together and went over the side because we're just gonna because they're close to shore, he's just gonna swim and try to escape before getting in trouble. So basically he's on the run from the pirates. And part of the thing with using something like Mythic or the 70 Oracle is the scene structure of the game. And so you going in, you have to have an idea of what the scene you expect to see is going to be. So with this scene 4, after Shane has escaped the boat, I think the next scene that makes sense is going to be related to him trying to figure out what the heck this box actually is. He's 19 years old. It's been a couple years where he was traveling and then as a pirate before or since he received the box from his dying mother. And basically, I think he's going to go to a nearby city that has a sort of a big enough, a powerful enough temple. I wrote down chapel, but I think temple is a better way to say it. Temple to Saint Terragnis, who is the person that has, or the deity that is inscribed, has his symbol on the box. So the next step is we use this dice, which is a little faded. But basically, this dice, when you're going into a scene, you see it has some black and gold faces. It's got mostly black faces. It's got 2 gold, 1 yes, 1 no. This, if we get a black side of the black face, then we are going to go into the scene that we expect. If we get a gold face, that means this scene is changed in some way. So either we go into the temple on the yes side and it is adjusted in some way, or no, which means something interrupts the scene on the way, and we need to use a random event in order to figure out what that interruption is. So rolling this now, we got a yes. So that means we're going into the Temple of Saint Terragnis in uh, a nearby big city. We don't know the name of the city at this point. As the DM part of this, I'm gonna say that it's the same city as that that Ardentior is in, but I don't know off the top of my head what the name of that city is. It's in these notes somewhere. So basically, he's entering the city, but it's adjusted in some. He's going to the temple, and it's adjusted in some way. So what I'm gonna do is pull out one of these random event cards and roll to see if I get some inspiration as to what that adjustment looks like. Okay, so we've got 3 descriptors here. 6, the adjustment is, or the modification is escape, which makes a little sense in this context. Escape, passionate, and expectancy. Okay, So I think that says to me immediately that um, it's related to the escape. The pirates are passionate about it and they do what you would expect, i.e., they chase him. So basically, Chain, he's totally focused on swimming to escape the pirates. And I guess the question then is for the Oracle, are they close to the city that he's going to? I think that's unlikely because this isn't something that he planned, but there's a chance. So I think we're going to go with a we're going to go with the D8 for the no, the D6 for the no, and the D6 for the yes. That's a pretty heavily weighted no combination. So the question is, are they nearby the city? Which is no, they are not. And we do not have we don't have the exclamation points and we don't have the random event. So they're not near the city, which means that he's had to travel a little while in order to get close to the city and to be approaching the temple, because that's where this is all going down. So I'm going to say let's go weeks. Let's do D6 weeks. It's D6 weeks later, and it's 2 weeks later. Chain, he was a wealthy person. He has some savings built up. This is when he was able to get the donkey and some of the gear and the feed for that to be able to travel that we had talked about last time. And basically, as he's approaching the temple, as Chain is approaching temple, he gets waylaid by the other pirates, or by one of the pirates, because they've been okay. Um, he gets waylaid by other pirates. We don't know how many at this point. So I think what's likely, what I'm going to ask the Oracle is this a scout basically? Because it could be that the pirates didn't really, they didn't follow him directly, but they're just like, where's the likely place he's going to go? Probably a big city. So I think this could just be someone who's scouting and trying and knows him and has heard what's going on, because word is going to travel faster on a boat, right? So is this, honestly, I think that just makes sense. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and we're gonna go with that die instead. So it's just one of the pirates. Basically, it's one of the pirates that he knows from the ship. Is this a pirate that he knows from the ship? No, it's not. So this is just a random pirate. Um, he's waylaid by a pirate, which means, and waylaid may be a little strong of a word there. So basically he's on the way to this. He's within sight of the temple, and a pirate who has gotten his description and heard what happened sees him. What does that pirate do? So what I'm going to do is, how do we characterize the action of that pirate? I'm going to take, we need this D10, and we're getting a random action. Innovate. How does that characterize what the pirate does? He's trying to be innovative. I think that means he's going to try to capture him. So that means he's going to capture him, and he starts following Chain. But the question is, so what the pirate's going to do is he has sort of, I guess, his contacts. He's not going to be the only person on his crew in the city. So that pirate is going to go and find more people, more pirates, right? And the question is, does Chain see the other pirate and recognize it and get suspicious? So, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm trying not to cough. Does Chain notice the other pirate? I'm going to say this is like a DC 15, and Chain only has a 10 wisdom. So this is pretty unlikely. But he has a chance to, like, he's walking down the street basically towards the temple, and with his little donkey or whatever. And it's possible that he sees the person, the pirate guy. I think is 15 too high? I feel like 15 is fair. 11. He has a +0, so he does not see this pirate. So this pirate is out of the on in one of the eaves, just looking over the town, and basically as soon as he sees Chain, goes off to gather more people. And so the question then becomes like, what is this going to look like when Chain leaves the temple? So Chain enters the temple, right? He goes and he tries to talk to. He finds one of the priests, I guess, and like a person who's a greeter. Is this the question? Is this a day of worship? I think that's unlikely. But yes, so there's plenty of people here. There's a lot of people at the temple. There's lots of people present, and he's looking for some sort of head priest of Saint Terragnis. Lots of people present. Asks to talk to a priest, and I guess this is another question for the oracle. Is a priest available? This is a 50-50. I don't know if this is likely to be. Is the priest available? Yes. Okay. So we have, and he's going to be able to get, he just has to wait a couple minutes, and the priest is going to come by. So who is this priest? This is an NPC. I'm going to try to make use of this character generator. Let's see. Okay, so I need the D10 and the D10, D100. This priest acknowledges moistness. Acknowledge moist is the action description of the priest. So I think that because moist doesn't have to be a weird thing, freak. He acknowledges like wetness, and I mean, okay, and so what that means is he's going to, and since Chain just swam to shore and is on has been on this quest to come to this big temple, he sees like, oh, you're a traveler, you're coming from somewhere, and this is something that's important to you. I'm going to say that means that the priest is he reads people well, that this is not, Chain is not necessarily a normal person that would be coming to the temple, but it's obviously important enough that he's coming and he looks worried in some way. And so I think that means that the priest, Chain is going to be, the priest comes up to Chain and says, "Welcome, my son. How can I help you?" And Chain says, "Father, I have what I believe to be some sort of artifact of Saint Terragnis, your lord, and I'd like to talk to you about it. I don't think this is necessarily a safe place in order to do that. So if there is some place more private that we could go, I think that might be best." The priest we already talked about, he's acknowledging that Chain is worried about this. And I think honestly, he knows Chain is worried, but this is also a fairly he looks, I don't know that he looks like a pirate, but he's a sort of a ragamuffin in a way. So I don't think the priest is going to instantly just go into like an office or something. So I think he's going to reassure Chain. It's like, Chain, or he doesn't know his name. He's like, it's all right. What you can give me a brief description. Maybe we can go over to the other side of the hall here. And Chain is like, okay, I guess that's good enough. He's like, see, I was given something by my mother shortly before she died, and she told me to protect it. And I just recently had an altercation. The first person I ever showed the item to it was like he was overcome by some evil force and came after me, and I had to escape. And I'm just looking for help, looking for more information. And he goes, and the priest responds saying, "It's like that is serious indeed. please, can you show me what this item is? They they back up a little bit. They're in sort of a corner of the, and not the entryway. They're in the corner of what's the gathering, the big opening spot. We're just gonna say entryway. So Chain sort of tries to, he shifts his body so that hopefully no one can see. Brings the box out of the pocket in his coat, and he's actually going to try to be pretty stealthy about this. He's going to try to sneak with some sort of dexterity type thing. So with his, he has a +0, 9. He's not exactly super stealthy. He's able to shield the thing from any, like, so that no one can see what he's holding, but he's being obvious about it. It's obvious that he's like trying to not let anyone except the priest, see what he's holding. Corner of entryway, he shows box to priest while hiding in quotes, right? And then the question is, does the priest know what this is? On the one hand, I think there's a chance. On the other hand, I don't think it's likely. So I'm going to go with, we're going to use the D6 no, and we're going to go with the D. Is it 50-50? I think it's unlikely. So D6 no, we're going to go D8 no actually. D8 no, D6 yes. So it's slightly, it's slightly more likely that he doesn't. He does recognize it. So the priest does recognize the box, and my question is, what is the nature of his reaction to that box? Like, is he scared? Is he, oh my goodness? Is he sort of nonchalant about it? So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use action and description on these random event cards in order to generate that. So that means I need 2d10s. Priest does recognize the box, and it's a 20 and 9. So the priest does recognize the box. It's, the prompt is bludgeon strained. Okay. That says to me that he almost wants to destroy the box. If he had his way, he wants to, no, I wouldn't say he wants to destroy it. Bludgeoning doesn't imply destroy. It means opening, breaking. So he would want to open it. For some reason, these are very important. These are very important to the church of Saint Terragnis. But I guess the question then is he just going to try to steal it right then? I think that's very unlikely. Let's just be real. He's not just going to steal the box straight away and be like, peace out. No, I don't even need to roll. That's silly. He does so he does recognize the box. He wants to take it so that they can open it. So, but he tells Chain that, oh, that is. His eyes go wide a bit, and he's like, that is indeed a very precious relic you have there. How did you said your mother gave it to you shortly before she died? I guess that makes sense. There have been evil forces looking for these boxes. Or actually, no, he's not even going to say that right away because they're still in the open place. So he's gonna say, "Oh, you're correct." He tries to play it cool, and he's actually going to. He doesn't do a great job playing it cool. He's like, "Oh, you weren't kidding, my son. This isn't this. You're right. You were right to be cautious about this. Let us come to my office and we can discuss this more." And he scoots Chain off into his back room, and actually he flags down another priest, or another couple priests, in order to, on the way. Priest does recognize box. They go back into the office area. There's a better word for that, I'm sure, at a church, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. And the question is, for me, does this seem like the end of the scene, or is this a continuation of the same scene. I think it's a continuation of the same scene. So they go back into the office area. They are joined by, let's do D4 other priests, by joined. And these are priests in a temple to the lawful deity. They're not going to try to steal it or something like that. I mean, if I roll the right way, in a certain way, they may be. But basically, the priests come into the room with Shane, and Shane, they sit Shane down in a chair, and the main priest, who, let's give him a name, whose name is Conlig Vercon Verlig Ligcon Verilig Conover. No, Connell. He says his name is Verilig Connell, and he describes the box to the other priests, and they have the same sort of reaction, that this is a powerful artifact that they would like to have in their possession. And I guess what I think we need to do is we need to they describe the nature of the box to Chain to the best of their knowledge. And we don't, like, I know these boxes are important based on the backstory generation that both Audentior and Chain had, but I don't know the nature of these boxes. So what I'm going to do is use one of these random event cards in order to have a random event that serves as the inspiration for what these boxes, the importance of these boxes. Like, what do they have in there? Do they have a name? Do they have a piece of another artifact? Do they have a piece of some holy site or something, right? The box is an artifact, and the random event is 30, which is hoist. So that's raising up, 4 passionate. Wait, this is the same card as earlier. It's so anyways, it's PC neutral. That's an important aspect. PC neutral, hoist, passionate, and violence. Hoist, passionate, violence. So with and it's in the context of Saint Terragnis. I think this is some kind of artifact. It holds a piece of an artifact that raises up a holy soldier of Saint Terragnis, and allow and I like that. It's a piece of an artifact that I'm sorry, that a holy warrior or a priest of Saint Terragnis could use to raise up and lead an army against the forces of chaos in the world. So it's an artifact, piece of an artifact that when joined together can raise an army against chaos. Because that's one of the aspects of Shadow Dark in this world, is that there is, like, the balance between chaos and law and order. And so the priests tell the priests tell Chain that is a very powerful artifact. We know what it is, that it is powerful, and it makes sense that one devoted to chaos, such that it makes sense that if someone is devoted to chaos, they could want that artifact in order to do evil things. And oh geez, hold on. All right, and yeah, And so the priests are going to ask Chain to give them the artifact. He says, Chain, we would really appreciate if that you would give that to us for safekeeping, and if we could maybe even potentially use it someday. And I think Chain is gonna be like, no, this box is. They ask for box, and then Chain says, no, this is my responsibility. I was given it from my mother. My box. It's my responsibility. And the do the priests respect that? I think likely they do. But let's do the priests respect that, or do they make some kind of counteroffer? So yeah, they do. And priests respect that, but they want to make sure that Chain understands the responsibility that is associated with being a caretaker for this item. So they are going to offer like we have our service coming up now, and that is going to take the better part of today, but later on this evening we can talk. We can give you a better rundown. We'll gather some information. We'll gather the texts that are relevant, and we'll help you understand what you're getting into. They tell Chain, you can stay until later. We'd love for you to stay at our service and commune with Saint Terragnis, or if you're totally welcome to come back later. But we really think that you should come back. You should at least let us inform you about the responsibility that you're taking upon yourself with this box. Do I think Chain will stay, or Chain will leave and come back? I think Chain will leave and come back. Or will Chain even um, come back? I think he has a general idea. Yes, I think this is something that's because it's tied to his mother. Chain will come back, but he's not going to stick around all day. Uh, so Chain says, "Thank you, fathers. Unfortunately, I don't plan on staying for your service today, but I will be back later. What do you think? Around 5:30, or I don't know. They probably have some fancy way of saying that for their time system, right?" But the priests are like, "Yes, that will work." And that is going to end the scene as Chain leaves the temple. So scene 5. We are at about a half hour now. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't. I'm trying not to make these super long. Maybe I will at some point, but I'm thinking 1, maybe 2 scenes, depending on the length per video. So I do like setting up the next scene though. So scene 5, they were in the temple. Let's say for D6 sets of 15 minutes. Okay, so they were in there for an hour and a half. And I think there's a decent chance that the pirates got together fast enough. So were the pirates able to get a ragtag group together to accost Chain when he comes out in that time frame? Yes, they were. Okay. So the expected scene for scene 5 is Chain leaves and is accosted by pirates. So that's the expected scene for next time on Tales of the Black Tower. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I guess the YouTube thing with like and subscribe or leave a comment if you think there's feedback or whatnot. I hope this was slightly better set up with the camera looking directly down and not at a weird angle because it's just on a tripod. And I hope this sounds a little better. Anyways, have a good one.